The great Udo Dirk Schneider once said, "Man and machine, the evil of a dream." And that's exactly where we're at today at the table with Cyborg, DC McFarlane Toys.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another DC Multiverse McFarlane Toys unboxing and review. And today, we got a popular one. We got Cyborg, but for all your Cyborg needs and a whole lot more, make sure you're hitting up Entertainment Earth. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10% on in-stock items. Anything over $99 does ship free, and of course, brand new $7.95 flat rate shipping. Gotta get a deal whatever way you do it. However, this one I did find at my local Walmart store. Should be hitting everywhere. He's not a gold label. He's not even a platinum. He is just a regular release. And we've had a few different Cyborgs in the McFarlane Multiverse line. I remember there was the Teen Titans Go one, if I'm not mistaken. And honestly, for me, when I think of Cyborg, that's what I think of. I always think of that version because my kids, when they were little, watched so much Teen Titans Go. Kind of blended my reality on some of these DC superheroes, and I always think of that Cyborg, which isn't quite the same as the comic Cyborg or other properties Cyborg, even movie Cyborg as well. But that's what I always think of there. But we do have another Cyborg we'll compare this one to later on in this very video. And of course, we're going to do this video like we do all the other videos on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. So without further ado, let's get old Cyborg out. Interesting guy, of course, man and machine, like a young Udo Dirk Schneider. DC Multiverse, Cyborg, 12 and up. Yep, 12 and up. Once again, big window package on here. Not quite as big as the last Cyborg figure. And like I said, we'll compare that in a little bit. 22 points of articulation. DC Multiverse, DC Rebirth. Rebirth as a Cyborg, I guess. Like a young RoboCop. And Sting. Why not Sting, too? But looking good over here. Cyborg on the side. No blurb, no cross-sell, no nothing back here. That's a big miss by Todd. Unfortunately, he's not on the couch. Can't give him a hard time today. But he really should have a cross-sell down here. But I guess he's not really part of a wave. And one thing I've noticed, and you Eagle Eye viewers have probably noticed as well on your toy hunts, this year Marvel Legends, not a ton of Build-A-Figures. This year DC Multiverse, not a ton of Build-A-Figures. I don't know what to think about that. I always enjoyed the Build-A-Figure process. I think it's a good move by these companies to get people buying figures maybe they were on the fence about. I feel it equals more sales. However, I think we've seen so many things go to clearance and Ollie's and the places, Ross's, Burlington, TJ Maxx's of the world. They've really dialed back, and Marvel Legends specifically feels like we got about half the amount of figures that we got last year and even the year before that. I could be wrong. That's just kind of my perception of what it feels like to me. Your mileage, once again, may vary, of course. But Cyborg, DC Rebirth, time to get him out of the package here. Gonna cut him out. Gonna free the old Cyborg. Never easy being a Cyborg. Do you sleep? You kind of still gotta sleep, but you really shouldn't have to because you're a Cyborg. It's a wild time, and we're gonna see what it says on the back here. See you later, goodbye. We're gonna see what it says on the card for him. Maybe it'll talk about his love of waffles. We could see that as well on here. See what happens. See you later. Goodbye. Hugging the screen on that one. DC McFarlane Stand. Seen it before. We'll see it again. See you later. Goodbye. Cyborg, real name, Victor Stone. I call him Vic. Maybe you do too. The pre-Flashpoint incarnation of Vic Stone was a star football player and all-around athlete. After he was mortally injured in a laboratory experiment gone wrong, his father turned him into a cyborg to save his life. This was the first of several transformations the young hero would undergo in his career. And I think that explains a lot of the differences in sizes and thing. I think they reenacted that in the Doom Patrol series. You guys ever watch that? I watched season 1. I don't think I ever got around to season 2. We got Cyborg rocking it like a Cyborg right here, ready to go. Not a lot of twist ties on this one too, which is always nice to see. Got the big cannon arm going on. We're going to dive into that. Pull him out. Maybe we're going to whip our Cyborg out. That's what my wife always says. Whip that Cyborg out. All right, I'll whip it out. See you later. Goodbye. Plastic twist ties. Goodbye. Let's get down to business. Once again, not a lot of extra accessories, hands, all that kind of stuff, not part of the process here. However, we do got this big old cannon arm ready to go. Very mechanical, very cybernetic. Looks like it was made in a factory by his dad, maybe. Who knows? But you do got a spot in here to put his hand in. Get the big blaster gun. You're just going to be blasting them. Pow, pow, pow. I just blasted them all away. Interesting, very scientific, very futuristic, very on brand for Cyborg right here. But now we get down to Cyborg. No extra hands, no extra heads, no weapons, nothing like that. He's just a cyborg, like a young RoboCop is what we'll say. Looking good here. You got the two kind of Two-Face like head. You got one side that's all kind of animatronics, got the red eye going on. Then he's got the human side over here on the other side. Got the brownish black hair going on. Very stoic look. And I think if I was a cyborg, I'd pretty much stay a stoic look all the time. Instead of my happy smile I walk around with usually most days. Cyborg looking good though. Somebody hands me this head. Who is it? It's Cyborg. I will know that. And Cyborg rocking those 80s shoulder pads right there. He's ready to go to a work function. Who knows what he's up to, but he's got the big shoulder pads going on. Got a little emblem right there in his chest in red. Got a little black and gray throughout on the body. Very cybernetic, very machine-like, very robot-like, very RoboCop-esque almost, you could say. Man and Machine, The Evil of a Dream. Like, once again, Udo Dirkschneider, the great singer of Accept once upon a time ago, we'll call it there. Looking good, though. I don't really got any problems. This is Cyborg. I would know this is Cyborg, no doubt, if somebody handed it to me here. A very dirty wash over the top of everything, though. It's not a bright silver. It's not metallic. It's a very grungy, dirty Cyborg. He hasn't cleaned himself up. That's what it is. Long story short, he needs to take a shower or at least a bath or maybe out back with the hose. Whatever he's got to do. Sometimes you got to do that with the dogs. You might have to do that with Cyborg, too. Now, his arms do go all the way around. The shoulder piece does move out of the way. Got some butterfly shoulder action going on. Bicep cut. Double jointed pinned elbows. Hands back and forth, side to side. Head back and forth, side to side. Hula hoop up top, traditional waist as well. Those big cybernetic splits, not going to get us very far. And that should be the way it is. He's a cyborg. He shouldn't be doing the balance beam. Leg does go up in the front. Double jointed pinned knees right there. Ankles up, down, back, forth, side to side. Plus the McFarlane toe articulation. Just noticing right now, one of my least favorite things about McFarlane toys is these big old balls down here in the feet and the ankles. Just absolutely ungodly. Take me out of the sculpt every single time. We haven't got as bad of these in the last couple of years. I had a lot of complaints about Todd McFarlane. Once again, if Todd was here, I'd be like, Todd, I had complaints. But he's not here to say that to him. But it was the balls and the plastic capes. I said, we need to get some real fabric capes. Finally got those. Said we need to get rid of these. Finally got rid of those for the most part. But they're back with a vengeance here with Cyborg, unfortunately. And he does fit on a McFarlane stand. See how this weapon fits here. I guess the fisted hand, you put it in there. He's ready to go. He's going to start blasting them. He's just going to start blasting them, cutting everybody down. Almost looks like a gun that they had in the Predator. Remember the Predator when they're just shooting into the forest or like into the jungle, I guess. Not a forest, it's a jungle. And they're just blasting away. My boy Jesse Ventura was there as well. No conspiracies needed. Kind of gives me that feel a little bit. He's just going to be blasting away at everybody. But a good-looking Cyborg. But, how do you prefer your Cyborg? This was the last one, the Build-A-Figure Cyborg. But look at this. He was eating his Wheaties or something. I don't know. Look how much bigger this figure is. I don't know. Maybe Cyborg. Of course, I don't read a lot of Cyborg comics. I don't follow up. I don't upkeep. Like I said, Teen Titans Go is where I get my Cyborg knowledge from. He's a bigger dude over there, though. That's for sure. But, man, that's quite the size difference right here. This tells me you got to have him in two different setups in your DC set because, man, he's towering over everybody with the Build-A-Figure version. I do like this Build-A-Figure version, though. I did really like it, but I kind of like this one a little bit more just because it feels more right size to me. This feels just absolutely gigantic when you get this next to other figures. On its own, hey, feels great, looks great, just feels too big for me. But that being said, he could be a giant in some of the versions. I know how that goes. Some guys are up and down all over the place. Rhino from Spider-Man, sometimes as big as a house. We know how that goes as well. So same thing probably with Cyborg. I'm assuming, but you know what happens when you assume. Todd McFarlane would tell us if he was here today. But Cyborg, interesting. I think this one will be fairly popular. Cyborg, I don't put him at the Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, Flash, Wonder Woman level, especially of the Justice League, but he's right down there below with, Plastic Man and the Wonder Twins. Of course, them too as well. But Cyborg, a fun one right here, could be worth a pickup just depending where you sit on your Cyborg fandom. But there it is. Cyborg, DC Multiverse. Your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day. And then some. We got even more content for you over on Patreon. Patreon, the best way to support this YouTube channel and all the content it does bring. Oh, there's content. Oh, content for days, weeks, months, years. Yes, years worth of content. It's all over there on the old Patreon channel. Appreciate the support. ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. Don't forget social media. SirPaul64 on the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, and on Instagram. So for Cyborg and Udo Dirk Schneider of Accept, I am Kyle. See you guys all real soon.